up, superstars, star seeds, my collective energy, my collective people, period, right? The ones who love the videos that I do when it comes to channeled messages, anything astrology related, anything astronomy related, and like tarot, oracle, of course. But I had a lot of signs come to me yesterday, and I kind of wanted to speak them out loud. And if there's any messages or anything that resonates, or you feel you should receive any kind of wisdom, feel free to take that, right, and apply it where it matters the most in your life. The new moon in Gemini was yesterday. So the new moon typically has the blacked out face, right? You don't see the moon shining as bright in the sky as you would if it's a full moon. And it was also a perigee, so it was very close to the earth. If you were able to even see the outline of the new moon, kudos to you. But this new moon, and new moons typically represent introspection, going within and really reflecting on your own inner journey, but also your own inner values, your beliefs, your own growth. And with it being in a sign of Gemini, which is a mutable sign, right? This is also an air sign, the sign of thought. With it being in Gemini, it really highlights where your emotions have led you to this newer version, or to a newer version of yourself that is ready to emerge, right? Emotionally. And with Gemini energy, I always see Gemini energy as like one of those wild cards, right? Because the wild thing about Gemini is they are very decisive. Once they've made their decision, they will move forward accordingly. But there's something before the decision that happens, right? It's kind of like a juggling of possibilities, right? What happens if I move in this direction? Well, what happens if I do this? What happens if I bring this inner light or inner darkness to the forefront, or and look at that and process that while in front of a bunch of people, right? It's kind of that vibe. And Gemini, I'll give them the honorary fire sign badge, because they could be an honorary fire sign if they wanted to. I'm Aries gang, so it is what it is, right? But with this Gemini new moon, it's really asking us to be transparent about who we are in this moment, right? Who we are allowing ourselves to be in a public. And I also got a couple of signs, and I'll go through them. So I got the scarlet ibis as the spiritual guide, the spiritual animal, right? And the scarlet ibis really represents the fertility. It represents wisdom, but it also represents being able to turn poison into wisdom, right? The alchemy of it. The scarlet ibis, and it's so funny because I had a dream about the ibis as well, and it was what was it doing? It was attacking a cobra that was attacking this other animal. It looked like it was a snake attacking a snake for a moment, honestly. But the scarlet ibis was able to attack that snake, and like it started eating it. I don't know if they actually do that, but I know that bird has been very significant. 333, as I say this, and 1044 at the time. That bird has been very significant when it comes to just the alchemization of turning anything toxic into something that is now nutritional for our wisdom, for our growth. And the scarlet ibis is directly connected to Thoth, which is the Egyptian god, right? The Egyptian god who is the master of knowledge and time and truth, right? He is the master alchemist when it comes to writing and magic, right? The scarlet ibis is also connected to the human soul. It's connected to the magic in our life, right? It's connected to the moon, right? And with Thoth, the Egyptian god, he has a crescent moon on his staff and on his mask, which represents and relates to the scarlet ibis. And he also has the face that has the scarlet ibis beak, right? This is very significant in the fact of whoever is experiencing or has experienced and has that knowledge of turning poison into wisdom. This moment in time is truly igniting a newer version of you to come to the forefront, right? A leader to come to the forefront, but also the identity of someone who is the storyteller, the truth teller, the master of just knowledge overall. If you are a writer, if you are an author, if you are a storyteller of some sort, this message definitely is for you. And the emerald was actually the gemstone that was channeled, which is Taurus energy. So, if you have Taurus placements in your chart, I would check that out, see what house they reside within, because that house may be the house that is being lit up currently, right? Now, with the emerald, and I'm going to get a bit of details here. The emerald is representing unconditional love, compassion, and eternal rebirth, right? This is known as the stone of successful love. Now, I feel as if there's a lot of love in the air just because June is known as the Sacred Heart of Christ, right? This is the time where love flourishes, and June's symbolic flower is the rose, which is deeply connected to love and that unconditional love and growth, right? Blossoming and blooming in different ways, in different areas, even like growing through the concrete, right? Rose that grew through the concrete. It's really about the flourishment of this internal world that has been built up, that is now ready to step out, right? I feel like a lot of you have been building your empire in secrecy that nobody knows, right? Nobody knows that you've been building this, even if you gave bits and pieces, right? But now is not the time to share all of your good news. Now is not the time to share all of your goals, right? Keep that to yourself. Don't say nothing about what you're building, especially if it's not done, right? But if it is done and it's ready to come to the surface, hence this new moon in Gemini, then it's time to decide how you are going to present what it is that you've crafted and curated from all of the wisdom gained from previous toxic cycles. I was also guided to read Hebrew 10, line 24, which says, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds," right? Not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching, right? And when I read that, right, the interpretation that I got was, everything that we do, every good deed that we do, how we hold love, how we're able to receive it and give it, it really does impact how the community comes together when it comes to moving towards love and doing more good deeds, right? I feel like we're in a space where people are very numb, right? They're not as empathetic as we would like them to be, right? And for the ones who are empathetic, we feel it the most, but we can't force other people to unnumb themselves, right? They have to get out of that themselves. But in order to help them, in order to help anybody, it's like allowing ourselves to open the floor to have that meeting, to speak upon these things, right? Now is the age where we speak up and we speak out, right? And it's really about having a new way of seeing, a new way of being, a new way of feeling, a new way of talking, a new way of just identifying as yourself, right? And slowing down to embrace the present moment. Now, I have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful oracle card that I'm going to pull. I don't know what it's going to be, but this is going to be our ending message for this collective channel. And I'll probably post another one today because I got some messages coming out too, and I'm already getting them, but we're going to go with this card right here. Hi, Wraith, longing for home and homesick for the stars. See, the people I'm talking to, you are you're magical. You live a magical life, and you've come from, I'm hearing treachery, but you've come from a lot of turbulent waters, and now it's like you've reached a mountain peak, and you're looking up at the stars, and it's like, what next? But what's next is now you guide other people out of the dark and you show them the way, right? Because they're also your stars. They are also fragments and pieces and stardust pieces and flakes of you. So yeah, If this resonated, I hope it brought you peace.